It is the last day of February, which is also the last day of profit reporting season, and our business editor Ross Greenwood joins me now. Ross, broadly, what sort of shape is corporate Australia in right now?
Look, pretty good, but it really depends on where you look. And some companies have done better during this month. These are largely reporting the last 6 months' results, the interim results as they call them. And so it really gives you a snapshot as to how Australia is faring. And a little bit like households, I suspect, businesses are a little bit all over the place. This is pretty much the index over that period of time, the last month. So the stock market is up. Now, that can be affected by movements in interest rates, a range of different things. But broadly, these profit reporting season, you see there's been some lurches down around the place during that time. But if we go to some of the companies that maybe have been the standouts, and the one area that's been the clear standout is tech companies. Now, the online retailer Kogan has had a massive rebound. So you can see during the past month, its shares are much, much higher. Its profit was very strong. Altium, the chip maker, and it's involved in artificial intelligence. So it picks up a bit of that NVIDIA story. Appen a bit the same way, but it had had a massive, massive fall from grace over a long period of time. WiseTech there, we've thrown in there. Another tech-related business, which is making software for the logistics industry. Its profits very, very strong and one of the largest companies in Australia. Go to the other end of the list and you can see some of those that haven't done so well. So corporate travel management is one which has fallen, despite the fact that Flight Centre yesterday, its results weren't too bad and says, in fact, it sees a record year of travelling this year. Resolute's a gold miner, so is St Barbara. So that gives you a little sense that gold miners haven't done so well. South 32 is a more diversified miner. Its shares down by 16%. And you can see right now with falls in commodity prices, BHP cutting back staff, that there really are some pressures now starting to come in the mining industry after what has been pretty much a stellar 2 years of activity for them.
Ross, are there any notable companies out today, this last official day of profit reporting season?
Yeah, there always are a few on the last day, one of which is The Star. Now, we know that there's now going to be a second inquiry into The Star to see whether it should be hanging on to its licence. But the second thing that's happened is it's reporting today a big fall in its net profit, down by 42%. The revenues, you can see, are down. This is largely as a result of less foot traffic through its casino operations because of new laws, basically, that are mandating who can come into casinos and indeed when people will be excluded. So that's one thing that it's affected The Star. But overall, really, Star is under enormous pressure right now, in particular in regards to the changes it needs to make to comply with New South Wales and Queensland government directions. But the second thing is also now with the administrator that's inside that business, the real question, and this second report that will be done into The Star, is really whether it should hold its licence and whether the changes are being implemented by the company itself or indeed by that appointed administrator.
Okay, anyone else?
Harvey Norman, Jerry Harvey's always on the last day of the year. Let's have a look at the Harvey Norman results, shall we? This also is affected by the downturn in consumers. Pre-tax profit down nearly 30% to $303 million. Dividend at 10 cents a share. Revenues there down 14%, and that's important. Now, Harvey Norman makes some money out of the franchisees selling. It has its own stores as well. But the one thing that Jerry Harvey says in the report here, and it's instructive here, just have a look at it, and that is the inflationary environment continues to dampen discretionary retail in Australia, and most households continue to be negatively impacted by higher interest rates and the mounting cost of living pressures. So in other words, while some retailers, particularly at the upper end of the market, have done very well during this period of time, there are other retailers like Harvey Norman that have really struggled, especially with that whole broad consumer market that they will aim at.
And just one more quick one, Bitcoin, it's back.
Back, baby, in a big way. And I've got to tell you, it might hit new all-time records. Now, this has crept up on people. So here's the price of Bitcoin right now, $62,000 US. The all-time record is 69,000, just under 69,000 US back in 2021. Let's have a look at Bitcoin over the past month or so, shall we? Because what you can see here is that the price of Bitcoin over 3 months up by 64%. But have a look at that leg up at the very end. This is partly because some funds now can start offering exchange-traded funds into Bitcoins in America in particular. And so they're having to buy up more Bitcoin to back their funds. That partly is the result of, the reason why these prices have increased. But it really has been quite a phenomenal run in a very, very short space of time.
Yeah, it is pretty up and down, Bitcoin, but it's good to see it's on the up. Ross, thank you.